it's final out. Yes, the Phillies beat the White Sox by a score of 6-3 in Chicago. Look, games versus the White Sox only matter if you lose at this stage of the game. Wins are not celebrated. That's my mindset. You can call me an idiot, 215-592-9494 if you so choose. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Yes, I'm aware that they can't really control the schedule. They can't control their next opponent. They can only do what they can on that given night. And tonight, all they could do is beat the White Sox. But, I mean, not a needle mover. Not a needle mover. Luzardo, 7 shutout, 2 hits, 1 walk, 90 pitches. It was definitely a step in the right direction for him on an individual basis. I just don't know what this means. I don't. If you're playing a team that's competent, maybe it doesn't look the same. He got out of that first inning bases loaded jam. Good. Would it look the same if there was a team on the other side that actually knew what they were doing? I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade. I'm just sour because of what transpired in Game 1 yesterday when the Phillies lost, okay? And 1 win against Chicago is not going to tickle my fancy. We got a lot of work to do. That's just the way that I see it. Let's get to the wrap-up, which is sponsored by Roto-Rooter. When plumbing problems hit, wrap them up quick and call Roto-Rooter. Their team tackles clogs and leaks so you can stay in the game. Roto-Rooter, your MVP for plumbing solutions. So, the way that this started, Chicago, I don't know what was going on in right field. The ball Slater, it just goes right underneath of his glove. He wasn't even close, but he should have been close, and he should have made the catch. But you take advantage of some mishaps, and that's what you're supposed to do. There was a tag at home where the catcher just flat out missed the ball, and it went behind him. He was trying to apply the tag on a tag up, so you're able to get a 2-0 lead because of it, and you must take advantage of these situations, of course, but you could see how out of control, out of whack, how garbage the Chicago White Sox were, and you were able to punch first with a 2-0 lead. Here's where things got interesting, though. Kyle Schwarber is a monster. Kyle Schwarber is doing ridiculous things, and I'm not breaking any news here, but wow, was that home run not beautiful? Take a listen to what it sounded like on the airwaves.
Schwarber blasts it high and deep right field. Forget about it. Whoa, that one's gone. Way up onto the light landing in right field is Kyle Schwarber with an absolute bomb to right field. It's his 37th of the season, and it's 4-0 Phillies.
This guy's outrageous. And Brandon Marsh tacked on a few of his own with a 2-run blast in the same exact inning. That one went 396 feet. So you're up 6 rip over the course of the first 9 outs that you have up at the dish. And from there, it was essentially just a quiet game. Just get us to the end. Unfortunately, we needed to have a Ryan Kerkering warm up because, well, the 9th inning, you can't even get guys to just eat innings and throw strikes anymore when it's a blowout. Robert went in there and got a little ugly. Now, you haven't used Orion Kerkering in a few days, dating back to that Yankees series, so it's not as if the workload has been very taxing for him, but it's never good when a game should easily be wrapped up, when you can tie a bow on an easy victory, but instead, you got to ask some of your high-leverage relievers to get going. I think that just, I don't know, it hits a nerve. So as you can tell, I'm not the biggest woohoo guy right now in the world when it comes to this baseball team. Dave Dombrowski must make a big swing happen over the next 48 hours to truly win me over. And losing game 1 in this series just gives me this disgusting taste. But they won the game today, so we can react together at 215-592-9494 right here on Final Out. Let's go to the phones, as people would love to get their thoughts and opinions out there. Let's go to Bill in New Jersey. Yo, Bill.
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good. I enjoyed the game tonight. I got to tell you, man, everybody said Schwarber hit a homer. Somebody else hit a. You know what was the best? Max Kepler's drive. to the warning track in the second inning. It brought home Schwarber. Castellanos went from – we had second and third, nobody out. And he had a blast, and it went to the warning track. The run came in, first blood, we're up 1-0, and Castellanos went to third, and we scored him too. I know other hits are better, but I mean, and everybody's hating on Max Kepler. I know that. Everybody's hating on him. But that was a big, big hit. It was a catalyst in this whole game.
It was big. I mean, personally, I feel maybe you're putting a lot more stock into it than what it was, but it was big. You needed to make sure early you can set the tone, and he was able to get an RBI out of it, but there's reasons why the fan base, Bill, isn't very thrilled with Max Kepler, and I
know.
Yeah, I think you know
right.
that. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. He's only got 4 or 5 homers. I know. We signed him to be a better power hitter than he is. But he did come through tonight, and I appreciate that. But I think, what do you think the Phillies have to do by the deadline? I'm just curious.
It's a good question, Bill, and thank you so much for the call. How long do we have? I mean, I'm here till 2 a.m. You want me to run through all the moves they got to make to actually make this thing work? They need... Which direction do I want to go in my la-la land?
I've been saying 2 arms and a bat.
Okay. I was trying to think of how I wanted to lay it out. 2 arms and a bat is a very vanilla way to go with it. But yeah, okay, I co-sign that.
Fair.
I co-sign that. I think that's fair. But they ain't doing that. You think they're getting 3 guys? I'll tell you exactly what they're going to say. Marsh has turned it around. You're getting Aaron Nola, which is like a deadline move. Otto Kemp has done wonders as a right-handed bat since getting called up. And JT Realmuto is starting to turn a corner too. There's your way of getting better. I think that's what they're going to try and sell us. They're going to then tell us the price is too high. They couldn't really outbid some of these other teams because it wouldn't be worth it with the value of some of our prospects. I think they're playing the game with the media to make it seem as if they're swinging big, but they're not actually swinging big. I think they're checking in, but there's a difference between checking in to see what the market is like and then actually putting your stones out there. I don't think they're putting their stones out there legitimately. I really don't. What do they need? If you're talking about winning a World Series, which of course is the goal, what do they need? 2 bullpen arms and a bat. They're not walking away with 3 people, 2 arms and a bat at the deadline. No, they're not. They're not. Let's get to the player of the game, which is brought to you by South Jersey Gas. Over 100 years of reliability, always dependable, always ready. SouthJerseyGas.com/lovemyhome. It's got to be the Schwarbinator. 2 RBI. You know what? Nah. I take that back. Sorry, Schwarbs. You get it every single day. I'm going with Marshy. Because not only did Marshy have 2 RBIs of his own, he made some pretty good plays out there in the outfield, especially early on, going to his left, making some grabs. I'll give a little nod to Marshy. Schwarbs could win it every single day of his life with his presence, so why not pass it around to everybody else? Let's go to Joe in Feasterville. What's going on, Joe?
Hey, Rob.
Who's Rob?
How you doing?
What?
Listen, I'm on my way up to Nantucket.
I don't know who Rob is. Who's Rob?
Philly Rob. What do you mean? I'm talking to Rob. I'm on my way up to Nantucket right.
Yeah, no, I don't even think that's a little bit funny. Do you know what he was referencing?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't think you sound like either Rob.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even close to. Is he talking to a Rob?
I don't know. Maybe was he saying he was talking to Rob Thompson? Philly Rob?
Maybe.
I zipped him because I just felt something was up.
It was very confusing.
Meter was going off.
It was a confusing start.
Meter was going off.
That was a good call by you.
Thank you very much. I'm a professional. 215-592-9494. Truth be told, though, I am a little disappointed with how negative I feel right now because they did win the baseball game. But there's just so much to prove to me. You know why I feel this way as I'm talking out loud and figuring out a bit about myself? It really is, because these next 48 hours changes the trajectory of the Phillies franchise forever. Forever. This could be the difference. What Dave Dombrowski decides to do is the difference in winning a championship, or we talk about what if. What if they did more? What if they maximized the core better when they had Bryce and Kyle Schwarber? And I'm talking years down the road when we reflect. It's not about the White Sox, even though it is, because it's final out. But it's bleeding into how big of a week this is for Dave Dombrowski. And because I know how monstrous of a decision we have, and knowing that John Middleton already admitted that he doesn't want to have bad baseball here for 5 years from now, so he doesn't want to put certain people in packages, and he wants to keep his prospects here to sell tickets, I'm uncomfortable. And that's just the reality of it. 215. See, I almost threw up. Thinking about Dave Dombrowski bringing in Carlos Estevez, bringing in Austin Hayes. That's what that was in real time. 215-592-9494. That's where we get started right here on Final Out. Coming up next, we'll get more into Jesus Luzardo. We'll get into the biggest takeaway of the game. We'd love to get your thoughts on the Phillies in Chicago as they now take Game 2, and it's a 1-1 series. Tomorrow afternoon, an opportunity to take the series. They win the ball game by a score of 6-3. What did you see in this outing? What were your takeaways? We'll love to get your thoughts. 215-592-9494. It's Brodes. It's Final Out right here at 94 WIP. Phils win 6-3 against the White Sox. Sorry. Just being honest. Not going to put on a face. Not going to pretend like it's time to celebrate and party. It's a big week. It's a big franchise-changing week for the Philadelphia Phillies. And it's serious mode. So a cute little win against a team that's 30 games under 500. I'll repeat that. 30 games under 500 isn't going to do much for me. Especially when you play so horrifically yesterday. Do you think it's tough to go from Yankee Stadium to this? And that's why sometimes it looks like a drag? What are we doing now? Building in excuses? They got in late. That's why Game 1 went the way that it did. Please. Let's get to the pitch count, which is brought to you by Plumbers Union Local 690, protecting the health of the nation. Visit plumber690.org. So Luzardo, his 7 innings pitched of shutout baseball, which is great for him. He threw 90 pitches. He did look good. He got into the trouble in the first inning, and he got out of it. And in the 5th, he ran into a little bit of trouble as well. There's just so much to prove still with him. He looks uncomfortable. But he pitched better than he has. But it's almost as if, for me, and maybe I'm just biased because I know he's been going through a lot and he's been going back to the tape and he's been looking and searching for answers. But I almost feel he still seems to be searching as he's pitching. Even though he did well statistically today, it looks like he's searching as he's going still, which I guess he should be searching. Because he's got to find it. Most likely he's going to be in your bullpen. So there's another way, by the way, Luke, for Dave Dombrowski to pretend he doesn't have to do more at the deadline. I forgot about David Robertson. Shame on me. So not only is Nola coming back, but David Robertson will be here, and Luzardo gets moved. And then the Mick Abel, Andrew Painter stuff is down. They got their built-in excuse already.
I mean, whether they do something or not, they have the excuse ready to go. It's like, all right, we can either take this lane where we actually make a deal, or we can take this lane where we say we tried to make a deal, and then we go to our built-in excuse that is about a mile down the road. The thing is with Luzardo, you can't really move him to the bullpen.
I know.
He can't pitch out of the stretch.
I know.
The bases were loaded. He went to the windup.
I know.
Why would you put him in the bullpen? It would make no sense.
Because he can't start.
But then you have to figure out a different method of him pitching out of the stretch. Then you basically have to change his not entire, but you have to change his delivery somehow late into the season, throwing him in the bullpen, which he probably has never done. If he has, maybe a little bit. And then you look at the other guys. You're not going to put Ranger there because Ranger already is showing signs of he's doing all right, but maybe he's going to slow down a bit, come the end of the season. And you can't put Nola in there because Nola doesn't have bullpen stuff. You're not putting Taijuan Walker back in there. And if you don't trade Mick Abel, then he's the most likely bullpen option.
Here we go.
So Mick Abel right now is if you make no deals, which would be physically impossible for Dave Dombrowski to make 0 deals a reliever,
I think.
Then Mick Abel is your option. Even then, if you don't trade Mick Abel, it feels like he's going to just be slotted into the bullpen.
I think he is going to get a bullpen arm, but that bullpen arm is going to be something that is it's okay.
The bullpen arm has seemed like their priority, though. Matt Gelb has reported that. I think John Heyman has reported that. I think Rosenthal, pretty much. The consensus seems like the Phillies are looking and they're prioritizing bullpen arms and, higher quality bullpen arms than they are a bat.
Here's my issue. I can't rely at all on any national baseball media member. Because if you go look at John Heyman and Ken Rosenthal and Bob Nightingale and Jim Bowden and all these guys that cover the league and they tell you about what teams are interested in who, they all say every team is interested in the same 9-10 guy. You're not giving me anything. Oh, wow, Dave Dombrowski might want to get a bullpen arm. Thank you, John Heyman. Thank you, John Heyman. So I agree, it's out there. But, I've been hearing that Dave Dombrowski's a wizard. That's been out there for the last 3 years. And wizard my ass. So anyway.
I do trust Matt Gelb, though. Matt Gelb had an article, because he's the athletic reporter. I trust Zalecki. I trust them because they're with the teams. Like, Gelb is the Phillies athletic beat reporter, and he talks about how the Phillies are prioritizing a high bullpen arm. But hey, don't knock John Heyman here. He was first on the arson judge to the San Francisco Giants. He's never been wrong a day in his life. Bob Nightingale, some say he's always correct. He's never wrong. There's no Bob Nightingale curse.
Yeah, right. How about this for a John Heyman tweet? So Suarez got some x-rays done or MRI or something like that with his hand, and he said the D-backs are relieved with the news regarding his hand. Also, the Cubs, Mariners, Reds, Tigers, and maybe the Phils are relieved too. The hell does that mean? We get maybe the Phils are relieved too. The other team's definitely relieved. John Heyman hits us with maybe the Phils are as well. I can't with this, dude.
He tweeted out something like, I think it wasn't even that long ago, something about some center field options. Like, oh, the Mets are interested in these 3 players in the market. And then he listed like 6 or 7 other teams that are very obviously in need of another outfielder. It's like, duh, dude. Like,
See what
you need to say this again? Like, this happens with all of them, though. Like, Shams, honestly, Shams is the worst with it. Shams Charania, he is terrible. He tweets one signing that has 5 follow-ups that mean nothing.
Of course. This was done by agent blah, 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 and he just copies and pastes it. Yeah, it's way worse when it gets to that level for sure. To the phones, 215-592-9494 as we react to the Phillies' 6-3 win over the White Sox, and of course, more just general Phillies conversation as it's a big time of the year for this fan base and for this franchise. Let's go to Amadeo. What's up, Amadeo?
How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic. How are you?
Doing good. I actually called the Schwarbomb. I was like, I need a Schwarbomb right now. 5 seconds. You crushed it.
Of course. Dude, you can smell those a mile away sometimes, and that thing was crushed. I didn't know it was going to be like that, but the pop of the bat, we all know it's a beautiful sound, but when you get a hold of one like Schwarbs does, that was one of the sexiest sounds that I can remember.
Every time Schwarber hits a nuke, it's sexy off the bat because it's the loudest thing possible. But trade deadline, I really don't know. I'm the same as you. I really just can't get a gauge on this team and what they're doing. There's just way too many rumors out there, and I've really gotten to the point where, and I'm not trying to take any flack off Dave Dombrowski. I don't make this what it's sounding like, but when I hear John Middleton's quotes the other few weeks ago or whenever it was, I really feel like it's all John Middleton with this stuff and preventing the Phillies from making big moves because he is so scared to make big moves. I really think it's more Middleton than anything.
It could be. Or it could be, and I keep bouncing all around with this, it could be John Middleton just doesn't want to give up prospects because he doesn't want to go through the Odubel Herrera, Mike Franco version of the Phillies again, or Dave Dombrowski has swayed him into thinking this is the best route to go, so he doesn't need to push all of his chips in and he can continue to build like a sustainable winning culture because Dave really believes in some of these prospects, and then he could be looked at as the guy who changed the Phillies around forever from top to bottom. So it's either John Middleton is just strictly looking at his assets and his finances, which is possible, or Dave Dombrowski was brought in here to convince John Middleton to do it a certain type of way, and now he's brainwashed, and Dave Dombrowski has the power. I don't know which one it is.
But this is my argument on that entire thing, too. Dave Dombrowski, with all of his career, his resume and all that stuff, he is known as the guy that burns down farm systems. He is the guy that goes out there, makes big trades, makes big signings, and every team's farm system is left in shambles. All of a sudden, he comes to the Phillies, he's all of a sudden a prospect hugger.
Yes, here's why. I'm countering your counter. Here's why.
What? Why?
He was with Nashville, ready to do this whole thing, and his priority was to build sustainable culture, winning from nothing to something, and he's got his championships. You're right, with Boston and with some of these other franchises. He burned it down, he sold his soul, he got the victories, so he has those World Series championships chilling on his little desk, and he's celebrating those. But now he's in a different mindset. He came here with the idea of, I need to build from top to bottom. I think his mindset may have shifted. He's already a champion. Look at the way all these people talk about him. He's the best Hall of Famer to ever live. He's the greatest president in the history of baseball ever. Just ask any national reporter. So he already has his stamp, and he's already approved. He's in a different stage of his career. He may have shifted, so he isn't looked at as the guy who burns it to the ground. He's looked at as the guy who can do multiple things.
But here's my counter to your counter.
Okay, hit me.
What if John Middleton brought in Dave Dombrowski, and Dave Dombrowski's original idea was, I'm going to do anything possible to make this Phillies team a World Series contender, but John Middleton comes in, no, dude, you got to do all this X, Y, and Z. You got to make this team into a consistent contender. You got to build our prospect system. You got to bring in people that are going to help develop that prospect system, but you also can't completely destroy our prospect system. So you have 50 million jobs that you need to do while also keeping the major league roster competitive, but you can't fully do what you normally do because I want a team that's competitive in 20 years down the line.
It's possible. I don't have a counter to your counter to my counter to your counter, Amadeo. Unfortunately, I wish I did, but thank you so much for the phone call. Don't have one. It's very possible. Clearly, there's something going on, though. And you know what bothers me? And Amadeo said it, and he said how he just can't get a gauge on there, right? He can't figure out exactly where this is going to go. Isn't that problematic? Isn't it? Isn't that an issue? That we have no idea where this is going to go? Not in a good way. You should know. We should know. The fan base should have a grasp. There should be some understanding. And the only understanding I have is he's going to add some level of bullpen arm. That's the state of this team? Is he's going to get some version of a bullpen arm? That's what this deadline should be from us fans and the knowledge that we should have on this deadline? That should be the takeaway? No. It's crazy. Speaking of takeaways, the biggest takeaway of this game tonight is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. It's a toss-up between Jesus Luzardo having a good start or Kyle being Ryan Howard-like. I guess I'll go Ryan Howard-like because that's a lot cooler than Jesus Luzardo having a good game against a White Sox team. 215-592-9494. Let's go to Craig in D.C. What's up, Craig?
Bro!
What's up, dude? What's up?
Man, I came on. I said, listen, man, two of my favorite guys at the WIP, man, Luke the Voice and the Wild Man Brodes.
I love
it
it
up, man.
I
had
love
to get
it.
in with y'all, man. What's up, man?
Not much, dude. I'm aggravated with this baseball team. Let me know if I'm nuts or not.
Dude, bro, listen, man, I never thought I'd be saying this, bro, but I'm telling you, man, it's Christmas in July, of course, because our birds are back to defend the crown, of course. But, man, right now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Philly sports, man, dude, I'm telling you, bro, Flyers, man, dude, Flyers got to come up, man. It's all Eagles. The Eagles and Flyers are our only hope. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. Phillies, bro, listen, man, they told us what they're going to do a couple weeks ago. Remember, he said they're not mortgaging the future, man. I'm telling you, if people think they're going to trade all these prospects and do this and do, dude, they're going to sit on their freaking thumbs. You know, if I hear one more quote about Middleton saying, I want my trophy back, you know, man, that's a bunch of BS and hogwash. He's not going to spend the money, man. He's not going to do it, bros. I'm telling you, man. I just have no faith in this team. And then when you look at it, bros, I can't believe we're looking at a team that's practically in first place. But I can't even watch them, bros, because, like, even tonight, Luzardo finally finds a way to pitch past 3 or 4 innings. And then the bullpen tries its best to come in and blow up a stupid game. You know, the guy's giving up home runs in the freaking 9th inning. You know, what the hell are we doing, bros? It's so painful, bro. You know?
Yeah, I don't. Dude, Craig, trust me, I know. Yeah. It makes me want to, like, bang my head against the wall for 13 straight hours instead of watching the team play. It's nuts. And you know what? Here's the thing, too, right. Craig. They are good. I've never said that. Like, they might not be good enough to win a World Series, but they're a good team. Yet here I am freaking out on a day-to-day basis because they piss me off so much, but they're good, but they piss me off.
It's terrible, bro. I just can't believe it, bro. And I'm telling you, we're going to be NLDS again. I mean, if they luck up and make it to NLCS, I mean, there's no way they're going to go past anything deeper because, once again, you know, we got too many stagnant areas in this lineup, bros. You know, our situational baseball sucks. You know, I was telling them the other night, did you see? Okay, for example, at that damn Yankees game, dude, we could have swept that third game. You know, you're down 1 run. Okay, you got a guy on second, bros, and you got a guy, you had no outs. Why the hell is Rojas up there swinging away? You know, what's the objective? To move the guy to third. He should have been bunting. Why is the manager or somebody not in his ear saying, you only go up there to bunt and move that runner over? Instead, he sits there, strikes out Brodes. Then the next guy comes up and moves him over to third, but he pops out. So now you got 2 freaking outs, and they don't get the run in. I mean, little stuff like that just drives me crazy, Brodes. You know, it's not rocket science. You know, we just got too many problems, dude. And I'm telling you, man, I love, you know, I'm a Philly 4 guy. You know, you were born and raised Southwest Philly, stand up, Brodes. But I just, dude, Eagles, man. And I'm telling you, man, thank God you're there to pump these Flyers, dude. Dude, if we could ever get a goalie.
We do need a goalie. And Craig, I love you, man. Thank you so much for chiming in. We're kicking it. We're hanging out. We're reacting to a 6-3 win. Although it doesn't really feel like it with the way that we're talking about this squad, but we can't lie, okay? It's a big week for Dave Dombrowski. So it's a mixture between what we saw on the diamond today and also what is about to happen over the next few days, because it doesn't get much bigger than this. I mean, this is go mode. It's crunch time. Hey, come on, Dave. I mean, this is the difference in making a serious push or not as we creep into October. So he better be thinking about doing something massive. The fear, he's not. 215-592-9494. Before we hit break, I told you that there was some massive news going around. Well, Juan Soto was removed from tonight's game with a foot contusion after fouling a ball off of his foot. I mean, that's a big loss for the Mets, depending on how this goes. Now, truth be told, I saw earlier that I thought it was Juan Soto, but I read it wrong, and it was Acuna. But apparently Acuna was in a walking boot. So I was scrolling through Twitter to check out everything that was going on with Juan Soto. I'm like, oh, my God, Juan Soto's in a walking boot? It was Acuna. I guess the Braves are dealing with something right now with Ronald Acuna as well, with some tightness. So you got that going with the Braves, even though the Braves aren't really relevant anymore. But the Mets, we got to keep an eye on what the Mets are having to deal with right now with their $800 million man.
Acuna was right Achilles tightness.
Oh, jeez.
Ugh,
That's not good.
that's not good at
He's
all.
in a boot after a couple ACLs, and now this.
That dude can't catch a break.
Yeah, that's a shame. I hope it's not what it sounds like.
That's what it could maybe just be like one of the calf strains or something.
Yeah, they monitor it because they don't want it to get to the untalkable thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it seems whenever that, yeah, I know. But they're so out of it at this point. Maybe
Right.
it's there's no pressure. You don't got to force it. It's just what it is. Maybe that's the line of thinking. But yes, with the Mets departed from the game with the foot contusion. Something to monitor as we watch this NL East race continue. Let's go back to the phones. 215-592-9494. Let's go to Mike in Voorhees. Yo, Mike.
Yo, Brodes, what's up, dude?
Not
Your
much.
Old partner here.
How you
Your
feeling?
old partner here from back in the day when we were like Mike and the Man.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Oh,
How
man,
you
it's
doing?
awesome. I'm doing
Hey,
great.
listen, I hear you on here. What's your ideal fantasy? What's your ideal deadline? How does it look for you?
You know what?
You have no limits. You got the credit card. Swipe. What are you doing?
Okay, and I know, obviously, if you're giving me free range, it could get obnoxious, but I'll try and keep it within range of...
No, I mean, within, realistic,
I would like to call the A's and find a way to get Brent Rooker and Mason Miller as a combo 1-2, because I think that's a real legitimate right-handed power bat, a real legitimate back end of your bullpen arm, and they're both here for a long period of time with team control. So, I think that's within fair limits and fair range. That would be a wow. I did not expect Dave Dombrowski to get two big fish like that at the deadline.
I would do that too, and I don't care who you give up at that. If that's the package you're getting back, everybody's on the table, right? Everybody, I think every painter, the whole gang, like all six of them, the guys that we all know who they're talking about. I think after that, though, I don't want to overpay for I'm not shopping in the Bobo rack here for guys. We waited too long for these prospects to become we're closer to needing these guys than we are not needing them. You know what I mean? With the age of the guys that are on the roster. So we have to be careful, on overpaying. Let's shoot a throw a name, at Duran, the guy who out in Minnesota. How deep into the prospect pool you given to make that work?
Not the Crawford life, not the Painter life, obviously. I think at that point it's the Mick Abel kind of thing, right? I mean, it's like
I'm
that
okay with
range.
that.
Yeah, right, that range-ish.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up Justin Crawford for someone like that, even though, I don't know. The market's so out of whack because of all these teams that are still involved and they think they have a chance, so that means there's less teams selling, which means there's more teams in on the same players, and it just drives the market to this wild place.
So because I don't even know who the other closers are that are kind of out there at this point. Like the guy from Pittsburgh. If it's just a Pittsburgh, the Bedard, or what's his name, Duran in Minnesota, is it you still comfortable with keeping Painter? Let's say Painter, Crawford, and Miller. Are they on top? You're not going that deep into them? Because that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think I would say the Painter, Crawford, they're probably off the board. I don't really know what to expect from Miller. He's not really doing anything. He's got a long ways to go, and now the window is here. So I guess I'd be more willing to part ways with Aiden Miller than I would Crawford. I'll say that. Would I be willing to part ways with Aiden Miller for some of the bullpen arms that you mentioned? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because you're right. We need these guys probably sooner than we would like to admit. And if that's the case, I think Miller's the farthest away. Yeah, but when he's ready, I might be 55. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, man. You got those two kids now. They're aging you quick.
I know.
Life's around the corner for you, man.
Stop, Mike.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you, dude.
Congratulations.
Hit me up, will you?
I will.
All right,
brother.
All right, good talking to you, Mike. I appreciate it. Yeah, I used to work with him back in the day. Long time ago back in the day. Good dude. Check it in.